All right, season 7, episode 18, Brand X. This is a silly episode. We got the cigarette companies, and they got something
Mm,
going on in their cigarettes,
yeah.
and it's killing people. Anyone who absorbs this like Brand X that they've been working on uh, starts dying from the inside, which is terrifying,
It's not only
right?
that they start dying from the inside,
There's
but they get
bugs.
tobacco beetles
Yeah,
are like growing
growing inside
inside
of
of
them.
them, like in their
Oof,
lungs.
Mulder.
Mulder gets it, and there's a
Yeah,
really nasty scene where they're like sucking the like larvae and the beetles and stuff. I think it's just larva actually out of his like lungs.
eat slugs,
H
Malfoy.
dogs Malfoy. It's gross. This was like one of those episodes where like I don't normally have like I like bugs and I like insects for the most part. And I don't normally get like freaked out by the idea. But this is like of all the episodes, like like a parasite type of thing. It's not even a parasite, it's just that they're inside of you and they're growing so fast and there's so many of them. It was scary. It definitely was freaking me out and like grossing me out too. Like just the idea of having them inside of you.
Yeah.
And it's all because they're trying to make like a healthier, less addictive cigarette.
Hmm.
Like that's what we're told, at least.
That's what we're told.
They're probably like,
Yeah,
let's make it more addictive,
100%.
less healthy.
But ironically, the main man here, who is addicted to the cigarettes and has to keep smoking them, uh, and is somebody, I guess, who would end up getting cancer from all them cigarettes, is Tobin Bell
I
himself,
know.
Jigsaw,
Jigsaw. Of
who
all,
obviously has cancer throughout
yeah.
the Saw franchise, well, at least the first 4 films.
Of all the like episodes, especially because not only is it like, like kind of cancer adjacent, but it's like specifically because the company is like hurting people and hurting him
Yeah, these
that
guys need
he's
Jigsaw.
yeah, like that's really funny.
Yeah,
Um
yeah,
it's
Jigsaw would
cool.
go after this company for sure. As this guy's just really mostly wanting his cigarettes.
You're right. I
Um,
guess that's true. He actually just like wants his cigarettes.
yeah, give me my cancer sticks.
Yeah. He's
And this
great.
is
He's
Morley, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that the cancer man
Yep.
smokes.
Yeah, he does a great job in this. He's a very talented actor. It was cool to see him in this as well. So,
Cancer man?
no,
Tobin
Tobin
Bell.
Bell.
I was gonna say,
Yeah. I don't
Tobin
think Cancer
Bell.
Man's in this,
Um,
actually.
I think Tobin Bell is like he's one of those actors that like has a shtick.
But it like he does a good job at his
He
shtick.
does. I
Like
mean,
so
but
it's
he's.
good to see him in X Files with the shtick.
I would like to see him as like a
A
romantic
happy father.
lead. Yeah, a
Yeah.
romantic lead, a comedy
Yeah, he
where
gets
he's
typecast
where
as
he's
the
being like some slapstick comedy or something.
that would
I
be
genuinely couldn't imagine.
yeah, that would be crazy.
No, he plays the like gruff, raspy
Bitter old
voice.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you guys point us towards a Tobin Bell performance that is nothing like Jigsaw?
I know. Yeah, this episode is like the most like anti-cigarette episode as well because like it's not just that if you smoke the cigarettes like you're getting hurt, but it's also specifically like the secondhand smoke because that's how Mulder gets infected is that he's around this guy who smokes. So and then the exhale, the secondhand smoke is what carries like the eggs into his lungs. It's
Yeah.
just horrible. It's just horrible.
And then the way Scully figures out how to beat it is by giving Mulder a giant dose of nicotine,
Yes.
which is what poisons these beetles inside of him and kills them off. But unfortunately, there seems to be a side effect because Mulder wants to smoke cigarettes. He buys a pack on the way over.
Yeah.
Scully makes him throw them away. She's like, "No way, you're smoking, Mulder." Um,
And
which is
then
funny because
we
like 2000s, I guess cigarettes were starting to be on their way out of being cool and were
yeah.
being seen as like disgusting and
Yeah.
dangerous to your health and whatever. In the 80s and the 90s, not so much. So we
Definitely
were moving into
not.
this era now where it was kind of seen as taboo.
Yeah.
So Scully having that reaction of like, ugh, she should. I mean, she's a doctor.
Sure,
I remember I
yeah.
went in once to a doctor when I was very young. I was right after I'd gotten in my car accident, and I just started smoking. I only smoked for a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And the doctor's reaction when he asked me if I was smoking, I said, like, yeah, like I started smoking or something. And his reaction was like, he's like, ugh, cigarettes are disgusting.
Good,
Like
yeah.
he was so like he genuinely acted like I was a leper. Like he was so grossed out by
It
me and the
sucks.
fact that I would smoke, especially at my age.
Yeah.
It really actually like I'm happy he did it because it
Yeah.
actually left an impression on me of like,
Yeah.
damn, dude, like these things must be really fucking
They're
gross if
bad.
the doctors, now of course I know they're horrendously
But, like, to
awful.
have a doctor do that, yeah. I never had anything like that. I unfortunately smoked for, like, probably, like, 5 or 6 years, unfortunately,
Mm,
like, pretty regularly, and then I vaped for a bit as well. But, like, yeah, I've always thought, like, and I've said this to you before, but, like, of all the vices, like, I wish that cigarettes didn't hurt you because I like smoking. Like, it's definitely one of the better feeling, things that I've ever done, and I haven't done a lot, but, but yeah, like
yeah,
I know a lot of people have that reaction, and like my grandfather died of lung cancer from smoking so much, and I remember like going to his house and it smelling like cigarettes. Just obviously it smells awful when it seeps into like the
so
furniture and the
gross.
walls, and even when he was like at home, like literally dying of cancer, of lung cancer, he was still smoking,
Of
which
course.
is what a lot of people do, and it's like kind of like, well, I'm already
At that point,
dying.
yeah.
But he died young. I mean, he died like in his like 60s,
Mm.
which is crazy. So yeah, needless to say, I do not smoke anything anymore. So hopefully I did no damage to my lungs in those years, but you never know, I suppose. But yeah, nowadays definitely vaping is much more of a common thing, and we've talked about it where it's like it's not necessarily the same like as bad as like cigarettes, but we also don't know 100% the long-term side effects and, potential health issues. I know that there's a lot of ads that I've seen about like microplastics and stuff like getting in your lungs, and so it's hard because it's like
I think it's gonna be revealed to be even more
I think
dangerous.
it probably will end up being, which sucks too, because I did vape for a while. I know that I've always been curious about these for people that have like, oral fixations where it's not a vape, it's not anything like nicotine or, whatever, but it's like aromatherapy. It's like water vapor or something
Mm,
with like essential oils that are flavored. And obviously they have to be essential oils that are safe to inhale because not all
of
oils are
course.
good, but I've always been curious about those. Like there's nothing in them except like water and like whatever. I don't know the brand, but I've seen them before.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So,
I mean, I've told people, the reason that cigarettes initially work is, and I've advocated for this. I mean, but I'm nobody, so it's not ever gonna make any dent in society. But my belief is that the reason that cigarettes initially work is because people are taking these kind of like regimented um, breathing breaks where
mm.
they go outside and it's like becomes this
Oh,
ritualistic
it's
habit
yes, yeah,
of taking in long deep breaths,
yeah,
and the cigarette is just kind of an excuse to do it. And then
mm.
as they continue to do it, of course the cigarettes have nicotine and they have these things in them that are like stimulants and whatnot, but you become addicted to the actual
Like
chemicals and
yeah,
whatnot that are in the cigarette. So from there, after you've done it for a while, your body craves that
yeah,
specifically. But all initially the real response you're getting is from taking deep long inhales.
yeah,
And if people were to just like mimic holding a cigarette or getting a straw or whatever and just going outside. This is why I advocate for, jobs offering breathing breaks where people
oh
take
sure,
like a 5 minute breather and they go outside. You could even have like a room where, you have, you know, little instructional videos of like how to breathe and to take deep relaxation breathing is so fucking good for you.
Yeah.
And it calms you, and
Yeah.
it calms your mind. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I think that if people were to actually, instead of smoking cigarettes to start with, if they were to just, start practicing habitual deep breathing techniques,
Yeah.
that would be so beneficial for
Oh,
your
sure.
health.
So much
And
better.
you can just, when to, your limitations, to just like every couple hours you take a step outside and you're like, I need 5. Because businesses will give you, they used to give you
Oh,
smoke
sure. Well, that's what I
breaks,
was gonna
like,
say
so
is
they should
that
give you breath
yeah,
breaks.
like a lot of people, especially back in the day, but even now too, like you can use like I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette as like an excuse to go take a break
Go
or
take
to get
50
away from
breaks.
people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like social benefits to that, and the other social aspect, of course, is that like like if you're at a bar or like wherever, like standing around like talking to people while you're smoking and stuff. So it sucks. Nicotine obviously is very addictive. I know that like nicotine kind of has a similar effect on your brain as like caffeine, where it can like help you think clearer as well. But I also always have wondered like nowadays like what they put in cigarettes, it's not just
Oh yeah,
nicotine, like there's other
100%.
carcinogens and stuff that make it extra addictive and horrible.
100%.
But
Yeah.
like way back, like when people were just straight up only smoking like tobacco,
Yeah.
like pure tobacco, like I do wonder, obviously people died of cancer in the past, so I'm not saying like that, anytime you're inhaling plant matter into your lungs, it's going to have some effect on you, of course. But um, yeah, I've always wondered because people have smoked tobacco and other things a long time before like modern cigarettes. But I do wonder. I feel like modern cigarettes probably are killing people faster and doing more like harmful things because of just how they're produced now. And
Well,
so
sure, and
it
people
sucks.
people will use this kind of like example as a cop out of like, my grandfather smoked
Oh,
every
sure,
day till he was
sure,
100 and he
yeah.
was fine. Like,
Sometimes it,
you're not your fucking
yeah,
grandpa, right? Like,
yeah,
some people smoke for 5 years and get lung cancer.
sure,
Some people smoke for 50 years and
yeah,
never get any illnesses. We're not all the same, but your chances of getting cancer exponentially go up. So
yeah,
it's about hedging your bets.
yeah,
It's about taking care of yourself. It's
yeah,
about understanding, the information, and using and utilizing the knowledge that we've accumulated over the years, and saying, if I do smoke, my odds. Now, everybody has the right to do whatever the fuck they want.
oh
I'm not
sure,
some
yeah,
I'm not some person
we're
that's
not
trying to
gonna,
take away your fucking freedom.
yeah,
But it
but
is
you
naive
be
to
healthier,
smoke.
be healthier if you don't. But it is hard
100%.
to stop, so it's a lot of people struggle with it, so it's definitely not an easy task for most.
Sure.
So
We're not smoke shaming anyone here.
definitely not, but this is yeah, this is a very 2000s episode in terms of it. This one is definitely smoke shaming people, I would say. So
Well, we'll let the X Files smoke shame people.
yeah.
And I'll just say that if you do smoke, consider not smoking. I'm sure you have. All right. Bye.
Bye.